Hi, friends. Back again with a sequence today to get you moving, get you warm. We're going to be working into the legs here today, getting some nice stretch and strengthening into the thighs, as well as really allowing ourselves to open up through the shoulders and the chest. So to start, we're going to just make our way towards the top edge of our mat. And we're going to set our feet up about hip distance apart, something that feels comfortable and stable. And we'll just take a look down so that we can spread our toes really nice and wide here. I'm just going to turn to face you for the beginning portion. And then one by one, we're just going to place the toes back down onto the mat. I really like to start a standing practice this way just to get our foundation, get ourselves really rooted here so that we can feel this connection into the ground and kind of imagine that as we begin to breathe, that we are drawing the breath and energy up through the soles of our feet, through all 10 pads of our toes, and really just getting taller and reaching that crown of the head right up towards the sky. Almost like a tree, just rooting down, stretching from the bottoms of the feet, maybe even feeling some energy coming out through the fingertips down towards the floor, so that there's this lovely opposition that's happening, grounding and growing, rooting and stretching. Let the shoulders settle down away from the ears. Let the jaw unclench. Filling up the belly and into the ribs and all 360 degrees as we breathe here. You can even take the hands to the waist or the ribs and just breathe into the palms. And it might feel like a really subtle expansion to start, but this just kind of helps us to make some more space for our diaphragm to really expand, really fill the lungs, finding extra space here. Let's take one more breath. And we'll begin nice and easy, just kind of circling the arms up overhead. We'll breathe in, stretch up, fingertips kiss at the top. On the exhale, soften the knees and kind of gather the energy in, almost like you're pulling your arms through sand and hugging it in towards the body. And then we'll inhale again to repeat. Stretch up through the legs, the fingers. Exhale, slight rounding of the spine here. Hug the kind of air in towards you. One more time, breathing in and out. Tucking the chin into the chest as we do so. Last time, let's take the hands up overhead. We're going to interlace fingers, but release the index so that we can squeeze biceps in towards the sides of the ears, getting nice and tall here. Inhale, scoop that low belly in. Exhale, take the fingers over towards the right as you push the hips to the left. Keep breathing into that left side body. Inhale, let's come on up through center. Exhale, other side. Nice straight arms, lots of energy there. Breathing in, lift. And exhale, let's just dive forward here. Taking the fingertips towards the earth. And once you're here, let's pedal the feet out a couple of times. Just kind of moving, shifting the weight from left to right, bending and straightening the knees here. Just warming up the backs of the legs. Give the head a shake, yes and no. An option here always to bring blocks in. If the floor feels too far away, blocks or some other support, even a chair actually is awesome. From here, let's take the hands, draw them up the shins or to the thighs for halfway lift, squeeze shoulder blades together. Exhale, release the belly towards the thighs. forehead to shins, and then we'll deepen the bend of the knees so that we can inhale to standing, pushing that ground away. Take the arms all the way up overhead one more time. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. Let's take the hands up again on the inhale. Turning the palms to face each other this time. We're going to be moving into like a standing cat and cow motion here. So using our next breath, we're going to inhale to bend the knees, pull the elbows back, and stick the bum out. Bounce softly through the legs. On the exhale, squeeze the elbows towards each other. Nice curve in the spine, tucking that tailbone in and underneath. We're just going to flow through these two shapes a couple of times, warming up the back. Really connecting our breath to our movement here. And you can take this at your own pace. Knees will bend only as much as feels like you're getting a nice stretch into the calves here. Let's do one more. And then take the hands up one more time, up through center. Find a neutral pelvis here before we come down into our chair. So we've been shifting kind of back and forth with the bum. Let's find a neutral space somewhere in the middle where the pelvis just kind of floats over top of the hips. Take an exhale. Let's sit down into our chair as we squeeze our palms together. Really press those hands towards each other. See if we can sit a little lower. Maybe take a little bounce if that feels good. Keep this light. One more breath. And we're going to step back with the right foot and windmill our hands open to our warrior two. Take a second here. Find your stance. Find your stability. Making any micro adjustments that you need. And then when you're ready, we're going to turn that front palm up and reach it up and overhead to reverse our warrior. On your next breath, we're going to unwind, move through center, shift the weight and the hips back towards this right leg, lift the left toes up towards the face, coming into a little bit of a side lunge here. And you can sort of mirror the leg with the arms. Nice diagonal position here. Feel what this feels like in the body. Get a sense of the sensations here. And then we're going to come back to our warrior two. So we're going to start to kind of float through these two shapes. Again, moving with your breath. Finding what works for you. Any kind of movement with the arms that feels good, please go ahead and take it. Make this flow your own. Taking it at your own pace. We'll do one more. And then everyone land, pause here in this nice long side lunge. Let's take a second to rotate now towards the back edge of our mat. So coming into a nice high lunge here. Again, take a second if you need to, find your strength because we're going to get ready to press down through this right leg and take off of the left foot into our warrior three. Hands can be at heart. They could be at waist. You could even take them up and overhead. So you've got lots of options here. Blocks, also great. Chair if you've got it, or a wall. So getting ready, take a breath, and then lift off, pointing or flexing through those left toes. Scooping low belly in and up. Hugging low ribs towards each other. Take one more breath. And then we're going to come up to standing, but we're going to keep this left leg lifted, taking the knee forward up to about hip height. Take it nice and slow. Then we'll take our peace fingers and we're going to wrap them around our big toe, our left big toe. Coming to stand here, getting nice and balanced. And now we can stay right here. I'm just going to pivot to face you for a second. Hopefully I don't fall over. We want to keep this left side of the hip heavy. Tendency can be to kind of hike it up We want to keep the headlights of the hips in line with each other. We can stay right here again, or we can start to think about kicking that left foot away. Just right out in front. Find one point on the floor to focus the gaze. One more breath. And then release it. Take the leg back behind you so that you can come from front, pivoting ourselves forward, and come to step back into our warrior two on the left side. So I took a little tumble there as I was turning around to face the other way. That's the challenges of filming in a smaller space where you can't take your leg right back behind you. Let yourself settle in here. And then when you're ready, reverse that warrior. Taking the right arm up and overhead. We're getting ready to repeat this basically on the other side. Keep breathing as you move through to this little lunge, taking the hips back over that left knee. And then forward again to your reverse. And if you're feeling like this is a little unstable, you can always bring the feet slightly closer together. Just kind of walk them in, shorten up that stance. Just a couple more here. Enjoying the stretch here through the leg. Enjoying some of the free movement of the upper body. Last time, we'll pause here into our lunge and then rotate ourselves around, facing to the front of the mat again. Find your balance, ground down through that left heel, and then take off with the right toes. Shining the crown of the head forward, nose is gazing right down onto the floor below you. One more breath. You got this. And then nice and slow. This side might feel a little easier because you have a better idea of where you're going here. Taking that knee up to hip height. Now again, we could stay right here, holding onto that foot, pulling the knee up towards the armpit. There's a nice little hip opener, great practice for our balance. Or we can take the foot out in front. Keep the face soft. Maybe even allow a little smile here. And it's the same kind of swinging sensation, almost like a pendulum. Shifting the body, keeping it nice and tall. Take it forward as you take the leg back. And then very softly land it onto the floor. Return to your warrior two. Let's windmill the hands down towards the mat. And straighten through this front leg into a pyramid pose. Give the head a shake, yes and no. Enjoy this stretch through the front leg here. Let the belly be soft on the thighs. And you can keep a little micro bend in this left knee. Again, blocks or chair, also great in this space. Let's just take one more breath. We'll come on up halfway and then walk the hands around towards the side of the mat. From here, let's heel toe our feet out even wider. Coming into a nice wide forward fold. And we'll add a little twist. So taking left hand underneath the face, we'll take the right hand to the hip just to start. And we're going to use this hand on the hip to help us to keep hips level as we twist through the upper back. And if this is feeling good and you feel like you've got the space, you could maybe even think about taking the hand to the low back. If this is feeling good and you feel like you've got the space, you can take the arm up towards the sky. All the time thinking about rolling that right hip bone forward and down so that the twist is really happening in the upper back here. We're not relying on the pivoting of the hips to take that arm up. One more breath and release. Give the head a shake here. Let's come on up again, halfway. Switch hands. Right fingertips come up under the face. Left hand comes to the waist. And we could stay right here if this feels like enough. Or we can start to dial the heart over towards that left side, turning the gaze towards the left elbow. If this is feeling okay, you can take the left hand to the back. And once that feels all right, you can take the left arm up. One more breath. And release. Give the head another shake. And then we'll heel toe the feet in a little bit closer so that we can walk around to face the other direction. Come into our pyramid pose on the other side. Enjoy the stretch through the back of the leg. One more. And then let's come on up all the way to standing. Turn the toes to face the side of the mat again. Let's turn the heels in so that we're in a nice wide V stance here. Take the arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale. Let's sit down into a goddess, pulling our elbows down into nice strong cactus arms here, squeezing those shoulder blades together. We'll do that 3 more times. Stretching through the legs as we reach arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Hips come nice and low. 2 more. You got this. Breathing in and out. 1 more. Inhale, stretch. Exhale. Let's take the hands to the thighs. Stick that bum out and roll the shoulders in through center. Just a couple of times each side here. Using that hand to press the thigh open. And then nice and slow, roll on up to standing. Heel toe those feet in underneath the hips. Give yourself a shake out. And then find again that nice, grounded, quiet Tadasana. Noticing all 4 corners of the feet, all 10 pads of the toes. Breathing up from the ground all the way through the crown of the head. And then you can slowly flutter the eyes open. From here, you can go ahead, come to a seat, maybe even do a little meditation if you've got some time. If not, have some water, go about the rest of your day. Thanks so much for joining me, as always. And please do let me know in the comments if you like this practice, what you thought of it. And also, if you have any requests, I'm open. So thank you very much again. Be excellent to yourselves and each other.